Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today, and there's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's Ryan's Vikings going up against Rodgers' Packers.
Larry, from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL, there's a look at Lambeau Field here. Like any other in sport, as both teams made their way out of the tunnel, these folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. First carry for C.J. Procise. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. The numbers for Procise in last week's ball game. 7 carries, 93 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know, he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
First down, Rodgers. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked up by Harrison Smith. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, veterans. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Second down, Ryan. He's going to fire one deep open. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Morgan Burnett. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Well, this wind is definitely going to be a factor as this game goes along. He's throwing straight into it here in the first quarter, and the ball fluttered on him a little bit. They'll definitely have to file that one away and make a mental note of it.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jadeveon Clowney. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. So let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now first quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
On third and long, it's Rodgers. Wide open receiver complete. And that is what you call a hit stick. Foot down to the ground hard. It's a gain of 16 on 3rd and 16, and that spot moves the chains. Rodgers now on 1st down. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And a short gain down to about the 33. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Working from the gun. Rodgers finding Gabriel complete. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Well, maybe that'll help him settle back into a groove after the interception on the first drive here, picking up the first to start drive number 2.
And it is just starting over, isn't it? Sometimes it's just how you have to do it. You have to erase things from your mind. Don't worry about what happened before, because over the course of the game, the good players, things turn out pretty well for them, and that's what he's trying to do here.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. That is caught inside the 5. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Taylor Gabriel with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Packers have taken the early lead. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. But that was well executed.
Comes Minnesota. And Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November, but they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Again, it's Johnson. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with 3rd down coming up.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Trying to barrel up in there, but I don't think he got it. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
On side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
Gritty. Rush coming, and he's taken down. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. So they give it up just on their side of midfield. And, yeah, I mean, a surprising decision there to go for that.
Must have a lot of confidence in his defense. Must feel like, hey, we're in great shape here because our defense can hold them, because they're really outside of field goal range now, right? The opposite team. So if you hold them here, you haven't given up any points. You may give up a punt and you're pinned down a little bit, but must have thought it was an okay spot to go for it and decided to be aggressive.
Here's Rodgers. Caught. Eifert over the middle. 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 7. throwing now is Rodgers. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down. When you want 3, get a little bit closer, making it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. Good field position to start the drive after the missed field goal. Here's first down from the 42. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their 3rd possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense, just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that.
They go to Johnson again. And they get him down right near the midfield stripe. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
From midfield now, here's Ryan. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Mike Zimmer's made his decision, and that decision is to try and go for this thing on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Ryan. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and that will force a turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2. If they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back. I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Dante Hightower coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7. And there they bring pressure from the inside, and they get home.
Yeah, hard to block everyone, isn't it? And on this play, someone did not get blocked. He's the one who got home.
He'll dump it off to Procise. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Give him 8 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. So another long try for 3 and another kick that comes up lacking.
Yeah, this isn't going to do any wonders for his field goal percentage, but you have to figure as a head coach that when you send a guy out there to try and kick from that distance, it's a 50-50 proposition at best.
And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And they'll get him to the ground, but he got all the way down to the 30-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. A first down carry here for Johnson. And now running right through it. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. A nice little juke. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
From the red zone now, here's Ryan on first down. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Kenny Clark forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. Now Ryan on second down. His throw incomplete. The throw. The intended receiver, and it'll bring up third down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
This will be caught inside the 10. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Odell Beckham, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division, looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional win. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he is level. Knocked down hard at the 28.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Rodgers to throw on second down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number one. Rodgers now on first down. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time. And it's second down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now Rodgers finding his safety valve here. That's complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head. Well, Larry, I know it's late there in Orlando. This is a school night. Folks eager to get right back to the action here in the third quarter. This will be taken in at the 1. Gets past one man. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
The good old toss play, and this time they go to the left side, so give a lot of credit to the offensive line. Center, guard, tackle, able to seal that side. But the guy that we don't give enough credit to, wide receivers. They have to do a great job of blocking downfield. Otherwise, that play can be spilled in the backfield. In this case, everyone handled their responsibilities, and they picked up really nice yardage.
Again, it's Bell. And some room to maneuver. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game. Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
On second down, Johnson. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. 2 yards gets him back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit him over the top.
Ryan. A bullet throw, but incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides. The tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Here's Marquette King now, and surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell your guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. Here's Rodgers to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Call it a 3-yard gain, and they're going to face a 3rd down. So still in search of the first down after that last completion. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Grady Jarrett with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this is going to work out well as it's out of bounds near the 13-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And, you know, their previous possession, they were able to move the football, but still wound up punting in the end.
You know, in 2016, Carolina had a 20-play drive that lasted over 10 minutes. And remember how it ended?
In a punt.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? You just don't see that.
David Johnson on his way. He's at the 40. And a cut to the right and some open field here. Touchdown, Vikings. David Johnson, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Tucker now to add the point after. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line.
But they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Right back to Forsythe. Behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks them up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Dante Hightower. Tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Packers who have the football, but in need of points as we begin. The Packers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And for the right side here, complete. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
319.
throw is Rodgers. Throwing on 3rd and long. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Vic Beasley in there to get him the 6th time they've sacked him tonight.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This will be fielded at the 17. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now let's look at David Johnson. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. Big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You probably got some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken farm from last night's gone to your head. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Ryan to throw. Ryan hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce.
That's caught inside the 20. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 58 yards. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. C.J. Procise, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This will be fielded at the 6. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get there. Bringing up 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
The busy night continues for Johnson. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And they're going to have a 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a third down.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Ryan. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. On the toss, here's Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point you have to have a splash play in there as well.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. That good for 22 and a first down. Probably had 60,000 thinking pass right there, including us in the booth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a big call, big guts on that one. And guess what? That run, it'll pay dividends.
Now a first down carry by Bell. They find some open field here. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. Ooh, the juke. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. And now the Packers going to take another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They pitch it out to Johnson. And look out, a big hit to the shoulder pads. Took him right off his feet at the 12-yard line. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. Ryan to throw. And that's going to be caught. Touchdown. And they've broken our tie here in the final minute.
Well, any thoughts about overtime have ended at this juncture. That touchdown puts them up 6. I would imagine they'll kick the extra point now and rely on their defense.
Yeah, rely on their defense. So a little bit of time left on the clock here in the 4th, but they got to feel good now. That time a 9-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now Aaron Rodgers and the offense heading back onto the field. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Myles Garrett in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. And he spikes it with just a shade under a half a minute left. 29 seconds on the clock. The Packers on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 16. He'll look to throw. Room here to run. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up 4th down. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Now Rodgers got to have this one. He's going to let it fly. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one.
4th down, and they take to the air, which really isn't a major surprise, but how about the coverage? They're able to bat it down.
Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. Packer pressure, and down he goes. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout called. Throwing now is Ryan. He's going to fire one deep, middle of, that's caught at the 25. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Minnesota, the win moves them a couple games over 500 now at 7-5. And they'll get a few extra days to savor this one before they take on the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Packers, this loss cost them in the playoff chase as they fall back to 7-5 on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. From Lambeau, good night, everybody.